Welcome to the All Good Things with BBB podcast. The point of this podcast is to give you local experts with information that will help you be a better business. And today is no exception. We have Brandon Stewart, who is the owner of X1 Marketing, and we're going to carry on that latest conversation we had about AI in business. And he's going to give us some tools about maybe launching into AI with marketing that's going to change the results of your strategy. So, Brandon, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me on. I've been looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So, you started in 2017. How did you get into this world?
It's kind of a long road. I was an electrician for 20 something years and still am IBEW Local 34, but no longer practicing, not retired, but decided that, in about 2009, I was like good with building computers, started kind of doing that on a side level.
Yeah.
And then got into some web design, got injured in 2014, and then kind of decided to go a different route. And by 2017, I said, I'm going to do this full time and opened up a marketing agency.
Okay. So obviously still doing website design today.
Yes.
Give us the gamut of all the things X1 Marketing does today.
We do a lot of Google business profile optimization, AI and automation through workflows, business efficiency. We also do, Google advertising, PPC, search engine marketing, SEO, local SEO. A lot of now we're, really focused on the AI SEO, which is, Google just launched the new AI mode over the last few weeks. So it's
I
changed
have
a lot
seen
of things.
some of those videos, and I'm so glad that they're like over the top, kind of funny in a way. But when you look at the quality of those videos, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, and there's so many different tools out there that can, help people make. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of AI tools. Most of them are based off of the same like LLMs like ChatGPT and stuff like that, Perplexity, but they're evolving so fast.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up. That's why we need experts like you to help us figure out what can we do today, tomorrow with this information and kind of ease into it. How does artificial intelligence really improve the efficiency of a marketing campaign?
When it comes to marketing, it's like we still always use a human touch, but when it comes to be able to speed up ideas, split testing different things in different markets, being able to put several ads out there all at once and have AI analyze the data that comes back, that's really where it, makes a marketing campaign be able to take off and like get to what works faster, compared to what it was before. We had to wait for data, go over the data, analyze it, manually, where now AI, you can put it in there and it analyzes all the data, know how to optimize the campaign faster.
Okay. So talking to someone who's never done that before, and I really don't know how to do that, how does that actually work? I mean, do you have to subscribe to something or how does it?
As time goes on, more and more of the software is getting built into like Google Ads and things like that. And once you're familiar with the platforms there, that you can kind of really go in there and let it do some of the work. But most of the time we subscribe to Chat GPT's Enterprise Edition. And then they have another one that's like $20 a month. And there's another one that's $200 a month. But then you can get some deeper research, a lot faster data analyzation, kind of just makes everything streamline, go a little bit faster.
So in today's world of marketing, what metric is the one that you pay attention to most? Is it engagement? Is it views? What is it?
Right now, it's usually based on user engagement and user intent. So it's user intent, what they intend to do, what questions are they asking. And right now, even with the AI SEO that has come out now in Google's AI mode, it still is foundational SEO still proves to be the best, because I think right now a lot of places that have been kind of like faking it till you make it when it comes to their search engine optimization and the content that they put on their websites, that now Google is going to reward the websites and the businesses that have accurate information that answers people's exact questions. So
okay. Very good. So the intent meaning how they find you?
Yeah, and it's like their user intent would be they would ask questions like for a roofing contractor, they might ask a question that, how long do, shingles usually last? And if you put that in there, that is the user intent. He needs to answer that question, wants information. Mm-hmm. And then you having that exact answer, and then your website being able to have, just the entire the brand authority that it has too, then makes it kind of, a little bit easier for Google to say, okay, well, this website, this business has the answer that these people are looking for, and we're going to put you up in the top.
What goes into the brand authority aspect?
Pretty much everything. It's like when I was talking about search SEO, search engine optimization, we've kind of rebranded that as well as its search everywhere optimization. So it's like now you are, becoming a brand authority on Instagram, on Facebook, on, TikTok, YouTube, and you kind of have to be a little bit of everywhere. I still like to always start off with a let's own one and then move on to the others. It's easier to take, cross platform after the fact, but
Sure.
instead of trying to hit them all, but you still kind of have to have a presence, everywhere. So just getting, social media, just making you let everybody know what your business is about, getting involved in the community, just like the BBB, different things like that.
Yeah. So basically being consistent in appearing on those platforms.
Yeah.
Does the longevity of how long you've been on those platforms take into effect?
Their algorithm changes, so often, between Google and Facebook, and organic reach is like, I hate to say this, but organic reach on Facebook is pretty much nothing. It's went down so far. It's hard to get your content out there without paying paid ads, boosting posts, even though I don't really agree with boosting posts that much, but like, actually targeted ads are, still gets to your audience, lets you have some reach, because the organic reach is kind of just, it's become harder and harder to get.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like when I open my own social media, it's like constantly putting things in that it knows I'm interested in, but I didn't choose to see these things.
Yeah.
It's just putting these things in front of me. And so for a business to try and even compete in that platform, I mean, do you even recommend doing anything other than organic posting on platforms like that? I mean, it seems like it could be a waste of money.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to do it for some sort of brand authority. You have to put yourself out there. You have to look like you want to look to the consumer. So you have to put the organic stuff out there. And then, like you said, there's actually really one word that is best suits all social media is consistency. If you are consistently posting, whether it's just, it doesn't have to be every day. It can be, if you're going to do 2 times a week, then do 2 times a week. But it's that consistency that, social media really wants to see.
Is there harm in over posting?
There is. You'll lose followers. You'll lose, user engagement. They just, you're like doing too much. They're seeing you, too many places. And it's like, that's a metric that, each industry is different. Each business is different. So you kind of have to find out. I know that, people that I follow in my world, like Neil Patel from NP Digital and Eric Siu from Single Grain, that, they keep testing. You never stop testing. They'll kind of push the limits. Like, okay, some of them do 3-4 times a day. And then when they see that, okay, well, we're starting to lose engagement, or we're not getting the reach that we were getting before, then they start to pull back.
Sure.
But yeah, consistency by far, it's like the key to social media.
I love that advice. With you being in this marketing world since 2017, really even before that, you've seen how engagement has changed. And I wanted to ask you about, when social media was in its earlier years, authenticity was king.
Yeah.
Not having stock images and things like that. And now here we are having a conversation with you about using AI in your marketing. How do you think this will affect trust with people?
When it comes to trust, it's it's tough with that, because it's like, as much as AI, you're able to do really anything with it and create any image with it and make it look real, even though that it's not. I mean, I think that people really, they figure it out that it's AI. It's like they can see it as AI, whether it's like a feeling or whatever, but they kind of know, enough. And it's like I said, everything that, we do and most businesses should do is that, yes, use the AI, but then use the human touch, put real stories behind it, and just help it kind of, you do what you do a little bit faster. But
not really replacing the human, but enhancing the process.
And all the studies that have been done so far, even across Google and everything, that the AI human combination is best. They said AI alone doesn't work that well. Human, of course, works good, but it's time consuming. So, but they found that, content writers that use AI to give them ideas, outlines, and then they, write the piece with, the human touch.
So it sounds like depending solely on AI would be a mistake, but
It,
what other mistakes might a business encounter when trying to use AI initially?
I think most of the people just don't take the time to like learn what they're working with. I mean, depending on what kind of AI it is, it sometimes comes down to the employees. Some employees don't want to have an extra added thing. Okay, I have to learn this. I have to do this now, compared to what I had to do before. And I think just not being trained enough or not having the knowledge with AI, is probably their biggest mistake. Using it correctly, like I said, even in administrative reception, it's like all businesses should start training their employees on how to use even basic LLMs like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, because it makes their workflow faster. I mean, they can do Excel spreadsheets, they can do, documents, analyze data, write complete legal forms, in seconds versus hours. So,
Mm-hmm. So if you were to talk to the small business who just can't even imagine how AI would change or help a particular position, what would be your advice on how to get them to ask the right question of how this might impact their business?
yeah, that's a tough question, but
We need AI to answer
yeah,
that
right.
question.
That I guess the biggest thing is for them to find the places. You can actually go to AI and ask these exact questions, and it will give you outlines and answers to, like, if you said you had this kind of a position in this industry, say an administrative assistant in this industry, you could actually get an outline of like what would be the best way to implement AI into your own business. I mean,
Just
and
ask it.
yeah, just
That's
ask it.
crazy.
Yeah, and then like the more detailed that you are in the position and the kind of stuff that you want them to do, it'll give you a complete breakdown of how you should think about implementing it into the business. And I know a lot of bigger companies are already having like AI specialists. There's somebody just devoted to AI and keeping on top of everything that's going on.
Yeah,
So,
that's a great way to approach it. Just to ask, maybe this is my pain point, or these are the positions I have, and how can I implement
yeah.
AI into making this position stronger? So far, how have your clients responded with you using AI to help their marketing?
So far it's been very positive. I've had a couple of clients that, just aren't sure about it. And I think that with anything, it's the fact that as an agency, we have the AI, we create, programs and chatbots and voice AI stuff that, answers questions and does things for the client. But at the end of the day, we turn it over to them. And it's hard to, like I said before, with adding another job to somebody that's already doing something without kind of dedicating a person just to handle this. Uh, just because it needs, for instance, a voice AI agent is a conversational voice AI agent. So it's a person that answers the phone that sounds just like a real person. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can tell that it's, a little bit digital, but at the end of the day, they say, hi, this is Miranda with X1 Marketing. How can I help you? That Miranda's mine, voice AI agent. That's why I use it. But um, you ask it a question and it answers it. So it's not like the press one, press two, or this, like that. It actually talks back and forth and carries a conversation with you. And it works 24 hours a day. I mean, it can answer the phone all night long, collect all the information, disperse it throughout the company through workflows, automations. I mean, instantly answer them back via email, via text. I mean, so and the way you program it is literally upload a document like a Google Doc, and now it knows everything that's on that sheet forever. Compared to an employee that has to learn this stuff, this learns it in seconds and then keeps it in its database, and then when it changes, you just upload the new information and now it knows all the new information.
So going back to social media, I mean, it's like you have to post a certain type of content here and then do something different over here, and that can be daunting. Is there a solution for that?
Yeah, there's a few different solutions out there. I mean, still at the, like, like what I personally use is, Chat GPT and Perplexity to like create some content ideas. And then when it comes to managing, like you can have, post planners that are AI automated that can generate certain images via certain prompts. And so like you can plan for a whole month, within just one day. You can create a month worth of content if you wanted. Still at the end of the day, it's generic content. It can be generic versus like getting a real feel of a business, like, the inside of a, company or something, and going through the offices and meeting the employees, I mean, that's real and that's genuine, compared to just, pictures and stock images
Yeah.
or AI generated images.
So you can maybe take a day to create content with video of your actual business, your people, your product, your work.
Yeah.
And there are tools that will take that and
Yeah.
create it for you.
Yeah. And there's like just even text to video prompts and different things like that. You can just tell what you want it to create and it will create an entire video. Most people are doing, like even with podcasts, like this one, they take the long form, and then chop it up into short form and disperse it over different things. But they have AI kind of generate, certain things that go with the short form content,
Okay.
Captions and, emojis and, different things like
Yeah.
that show up. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of makes life a little bit easier
oh,
and
for
keeps
sure.
it a little entertaining at the
Yeah,
same time.
yeah. Just like we could turn ourselves into babies right now, and have this conversation with, two babies talking. So,
Do you think the baby would have the goatee?
yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if it did.
So what other trends are you seeing in social media today?
uh, in social media, it's just, I still think that authenticity, that being genuine, I think that's going to win overall. I think that, you can put as much stuff out there as you want, but if you're not putting, real stuff about your company, especially in the local market, it might work, on a national level with bigger companies and stuff like that, but, and influencers, but to be genuine within your company, put that out there. I think that you'll get rewarded. And the way that you usually get rewarded, we talked about consistency earlier, is that your organic reach may be not as good as it once was. But what happens is, because of you being consistent and you posting, when you go to run ads, it rewards you for being consistent and having content on your page. So you get better prices for stuff, you get shown a little bit more. Your reach is better within your campaign, in your actual marketing campaigns.
How much do you recommend most businesses spend on social digital marketing these days?
Well, I mean, let me see. Most of the time you say anywhere at like 10% to 15% of their revenue if they want to grow, at a steady rate. And that doesn't mean just digital marketing, that's marketing as a whole. 10, 15, sometimes 20% of the revenue if they want to, really grow, but not just digitally. That's just marketing as a whole. I've never really broke it down just in all digital.
Mhm.
But in Facebook and stuff like that, if you have somebody that knows what they're doing, and it doesn't have to break the bank to, to run some ads and getting some, user engagement, get some followers. In the world today, everybody wants everything to happen now and today, right now. And that's the world that we live in. And with most of the social media, search engine optimization, especially any of the website search engine optimization, I mean, it sometimes takes months, to get the consistency down, to get the right content on your site, all the technical fixes that need to be done. And I tell my clients, sometimes I've had clients that we start doing work for them, and it's that same month, that boom, they take off. Others, it's been 10, 11 months into the thing. It's like, we know that it'll eventually happen, but we can't ever put a timeline on certain things.
Mhm.
Now, marketing campaigns like Google, those we know right away. You can put this amount of money in here. We can get it to a certain ROI for you and AI helps do all that. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. And still, I'm so glad you said what you said about authenticity winning, because I think that's truly how consumers connect with a business and know if they can trust them or not, is to kind of see them in action and see what they say about themselves.
Yeah. And it's just like with me and in any other business, it's, most of the time, if you have a good product, so does somebody else. They have the same product, and it's just about who you like, who you connect with. That's what makes you the person that, really becomes their person,
Mhm. How have you made trust part of your business platform?
Just for me, it's just about being real, and being who I am, and always wanting to over deliver, which sometimes can be a fault, wanting to, give more to the clients than, and just be that way and be real,
Mhm.
so be who I am, and stay positive all the time. I mean, that's kind of like one of my favorite things is, whether you can or you can't, you're right. By Henry Ford, one of my favorite quotes, because you always got to just keep that mindset. And I could get into a whole nother thing on mindset.
Oh, we love talking about mindset. We love those conversations. It certainly makes a difference.
Yes.
How has accreditation impacted your business locally?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I mean, it's just knowing that I have that, on my website. There's people that, talk to me and call me, when leads come in, and they'll tell me that it's because of that, that they saw that there's not a lot of businesses that do that, that put it out there, even on their website, but, especially in the marketing world, just because it's a little bit different. But,
well, and there's so many in your industry now. There's so many like shell companies. What we've seen, businesses have been targeted by email campaigns, and it turns out it's an AI thing. It's not even a real company, and
yeah.
they're just after their money, and they're not going to get anything in return. So, that's part of the work we do, is making sure that the company is who they say they are, where they say they are, and like committed to, like you said, over delivering, but building trust.
Yeah, and that's great that you guys keep an eye on that kind of stuff, like what's going on in the area and local communities, to see what in the local business community, to see like what scams are going on, and because I mean, it makes a difference. They're every day. Mm-hmm. Telling you earlier about the Google business profile optimization, or your Google business profile is not verified. They call every day, even to me. So it's just all automated.
And it's not
stuff.
Google.
Yeah, it's not Google. They make themselves sound like Google. And they just really want to take some money from you, and like, we'll do this for you. And it doesn't cost anything to be verified. Mm-hmm. It's just, if you're a legit business and you claim your Google business profile, you're mm-hmm. verified. Mm-hmm. So I get calls every day, and it's like my AI on my voice end detects where the phone call is coming from, right? Like that, like it's from a business, like, it'll tell me that, River City Roofing just called me, right? So I call them back. They're like, we didn't call you. So they're able to spoof local businesses' phone numbers, and then when you call them back, it actually goes to that business, but they're actually completely spoofing local businesses' phone numbers. I get calls all the time but I started getting, more and more phone calls every day, and they were always around the same time of day. And then when I would call them back, like one was like AAA Northgate, I was like, hey, I just got a call from you guys, just returning your phone call. And then, they asked everybody in the office. Nobody called. Like, well, since I got you on the line.
Anyway, let's talk about marketing while we've got you. Yeah. Oh, man, it is just relentless. It is relentless. I know that so many people just don't even answer these days because they don't know if it's a real thing or not.
I think that a lot of businesses don't realize, besides just the AI stuff that they're seeing right now out there, just like what's available on the back end of, creating AI automations and workflows on the backside of the business of, being able to sparse information, get it out there into certain places. Like a phone call comes in, it can take it, automatically assign it to certain people, and then create tasks for that people, and then update other people, and just keep moving a whole business efficiency, behind the scenes. And, that's what we use it a lot for.
Very good. Well, I hope you've taken away a couple of things about how AI might help your marketing strategy or just business efficiency overall. Brandon Stewart of X1 Marketing, thank you so much for joining me today. If you have questions about any of these things, feel free to reach out to Brandon, and we hope that this information has helped you be a better business. Thanks for watching.